is the most divisive figure in modern American politics. The lesson is not to be less divisive. The lesson is actually to be more divisive, but around...
I think you could actually make an argument he might be the most divisive American politician in American history. I wonder, it would be between him and McCarthy maybe, because I feel like you could fairly argue that the Confederacy wasn't divisive in the same way, because that was like a regional national secessionary split, whereas in this case, it's like everyone all around the country being turned against one another. So I feel like it's a lot more of a dispersed kind of, like turning against one another. Not sure. It kind of depends on your metrics, you know? Yeah, I don't know if the Civil War counts in the same way, though. I think that's different. How wasn't Reagan more? Have you seen the margins he won by?
The correct lines. So what is Trump's division? And what does he feed? The division and the world view that he feeds into, the narrative that he feeds into with everything he does, the litmus test for being part of Donald Trump's party is the problems in your lives are because of immigrants, Democrats, cultural elites. I will save, I will fix it, right? Those are the litmus tests within the Republican Party. That is the worldview. It's one I disagree with. I've talked a lot about it, but that is the worldview, and is very clear-cut worldview. So when you're talking about things like, you know, transgender issues, that fits into this idea from him. Cultural elites are trying to change you, indoctrinate your kids, take over your life, preach to you about what your values should be. When we're talking about the border, when we're talking about immigrants, these immigrants are going to come into your town and they're going to steal your job.
I don't have much to say before Saagar steps in, because Crystal's just straight up killing it here. It's, you know, yeah, true.
Jobs are going to drive up housing. Again, I think all of this is incorrect, but it's clear cut, right? It is clear cut, and it is extremely divisive. So the problem is not that Democrats were talking about, I don't even remember the last time Democrats talked about transgender issues at all. And it's not that Democrats were too far.
What's that old tweet? Like, if you want to hear about trans people nonstop, unfollow all the trans people that you know, and then follow a bunch of Republican politicians and pundits. Literally, they never shut the fuck up about it. Trans people talk about trans people less than transphobes. It's insane.
How does the 5 transgender athletes in the country, how does that impact you, your ability to have a good life, earn a good wage, etc.? It's a distraction. It's a distraction from billionaire elites who want another tax cut, or, you know, Elon Musk's case, want another like government subsidy, taxpayer subsidized contract. That is what Democrats should be leaning into.
Democrats should also be a lot more aggressive. Keep in mind that, like, a big part of populist messaging, it's not just about staying cohesive on the message, it's about attacking the opposition. One of the big problems with Democrats is they refuse to attack or push any envelopes or take any stand. As far as I can tell, there is literally no consequence to being antagonistic in the current political environment. I can't think the classic Democrat, like, I guess, strategy, or I guess like their logic, their heuristic is that it's generally worse to be divisive and to attack people, but in reality it seems like it always works. Like, at the very least, there's no consequences to doing it. Kamala Harris refused to attack Trump meaningfully. She did. Let's be fair. No one gives a shit. I'm so tired of people attacking Trump by calling him a criminal. Literally, who the fuck cares? You realize you're only further cementing his populist, like, appeal, right? Oh, he's so anti-establishment that he literally has, like, federal charges against him? No one gives a shit. I don't care whether someone's a criminal. If I was in Florida, ye back, I would have voted for the reenfranchisement of criminal. That's not like my metric for what, it's about what he does.
They shouldn't be running away from it. They need their own divisive politics, and they need to throw out this like focus group, poll tested bullshit, because the paint by numbers way of like, let me just poll test my way into what I think is a popular program, utter and complete rejected failure.
So I don't think that any of that is necessarily wrong in terms of the focus group, but on the, I mean, look, I mean,
I can't deny the fact that you're right about everything, but I'm still going to find a way to like insist that Democrats are too pro-trans, despite them literally not even bringing it up this election cycle.
I do think it is clear that there is a reality problem the Democrats face. So what you were saying in terms of, you know, oh, Kamala didn't run on it. It's like, yeah, but in 2019, she literally did say you should tax her dollars to, you know, have gender transition.
I'm sorry, 5 years ago, she said something. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? How desperate are you to pretend that this is like an actual forced error from the Democrats? They talked about it too much. Kamala Harris mentioned it once in an interview 5 years ago. Are you being serious right now?
Surgery for illegal immigrants. That's objectively an insane thing to believe. Like,
no, it's not. It's pretty straightforward. If you have people in prison, including undocumented immigrants, you're responsible for their health care. That's like law. Not that we follow it consistently, but it's law. And if it's held that gender-affirming surgeries are a component of healthcare, then that follows. Yeah.
These people ran around all throughout
Trump
the
did it during
2019
his administration too, by the way.
Yeah, okay, well, I hope he bans it, right now. And
so, see how easily he deflects that? That was also the law under the Trump administration. Well, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. It was insane when Kamala Harris mentioned it once in 2019, but when Donald Trump presided over it as law for 4 years as president, that didn't count. Reality doesn't matter, but also here's why Democrats have a reality problem.
By the way, it looks like that's going to be a day one agenda. And so if anything, he's too much an idiot not to follow through. So that's something, but...
Right, that's the point, because it's a manufactured issue. That's the entire point, you fucking idiot. You didn't hear about it for 4 years. You didn't care about it for 4 years because at the time, it wasn't something you were told to care about. This is the definition of a manufactured issue. You weren't even aware of it being the case for years under Donald Trump's presidency. You didn't even care. It didn't matter. It still doesn't matter.
Really what it, and also that was Kamala's response. It didn't work. People get tagged because of the cultural milieu. You cannot run, for example.
He's intelligentsia because he knows the word milieu. I mean, his position here might be that it matters even though no one mentioned it for 4 years under Trump, but it matters that Kamala mentioned it in 2019, which was during the Trump administration, but
In 2022, if Republicans did not say the word abortion, would that not mean that they still get tagged, and rightfully so, with the issue of abortion? Democrats basically...
Difference being that Republicans have always wanted to get rid of legal abortion, which now they have. First of all, they've been talking about it forever. Second of all, they did it. They got the chance to do it, and they did it. So all of the talking points pinning them to wanting to revoke the right to an abortion were correct. They were correct the entire time. Whereas the thing you're describing of Kamala Harris was law, and there's no push whatsoever by the Democrats to do anything more in that effect. Why would they need to? The law hasn't changed. Completely made up issue. I don't want to listen to Saagar. I don't really care. Honestly, the takeaway from this, I don't care about him. The takeaway from this, I guess, is just that Crystal was correct. I don't really know what else to do. This is why I don't want to do like, react to conservative video, because it's like you're not, this is why I say media environment. You know what I mean? Because if a person watches enough breaking points that they just take the Saagar's positions, their brain is just cooked and there's not much you can do about it. I feel like these positions are self-evidently incorrect. I might as well watch Flat Earth videos.